Well, hello and welcome to the Blog Rundown, the weekly show from Movie Burner Entertainment where we discuss the latest movie reviews from our writing team. And joining us as ever is John, and we're going to start with a review from our senior writer Darren, and this is from 2016, John. It is called The Shallows.
Yes, this one is directed by Jean-Michel Serra, and it's written by Anthony Jarzynski, and it stars Blake Lively, Oscar Giannata, Angelo Giorgio Lozano Corso, and it's a shark movie, Stephen. The plot is a mere 200 yards from shore. Surfer Nancy is attacked by a great white shark with her short journey to safety becoming the ultimate contest of wills. Can't lie, Stephen, I haven't seen this one. I do like to watch a shark movie on the odd occasion. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I did go and see The Meg twice earlier this year. That was a very big bombastic shark movie starring, of course, Jason Statham. This one is starring Blake Lively. She is the primary character in the film. By all accounts, as it does say, she's just 200 yards from shore. But I quite like what they're doing with this film, where she's kind of stuck on a rock and she's facing a battle against time with the tide coming in and the shark circling her. So it's like a battle of wills, as I did say in the brief plot. Darren is kindly posted up the Rotten Tomato score, so I don't have to go into the actual website to look at it, and it's 78% from the critics, 54% from the audiences. Darren, I think, enjoyed this film. He gave it a 7 out of 10. I think he does like a shark movie, just like me. He's not a big fan of Blake Lively. I think he said that before. I can't recall where, but he says it again in here. He's not a big fan of Blake Lively, but he's starting to come round to her in this film. Yeah. He's almost given her a little bit of praise. Well, I say almost. He's given her a fair bit of praise in this review, but he's not quite a fan as of yet. But by all accounts, she does make the film an interesting fair. She also, you feel for her situation, you feel for the peril she's facing. She's want to survive, she doesn't want to die a helpless, crappy death in the jaws of a aquatic animal. But I ain't seen it, so I'm going to delve more into this review whilst I let you in. I think you have seen a tiny little bit of this. Yeah, John. You watched it on Sky Movies. It's one of those ones like I did with John English Strikes Again, not in a cinema. You actually just put it on midway through in the Sky Movies.
Channel hopping, John. I think that's what we call it. You're right. And it was one of those ones that just caught my eye. But I think it was maybe 3/4 of the way through the movie at the time, and I wasn't going to start watching it. But it is one I do want to catch because I'm not the biggest shark movie fan, but I do like these kind of films where you've got that kind of situation where you're only 200 yards from shore, safely away from these pesky sharks, but it's getting there that is the problem. It's a bit like the sort of isolation of Castaway, but the sort of situation of Panic Room here, hasn't it? Really, when you think about it, it's very simple storytelling.
That other one as well, I think it was like 28 metres down or something, I can't remember what it's called, from last year, where the two of them are stuck in the cage. That was crap. I watched that one.
This running time for this is 86 minutes, and Darren does say that for its plot it should be maybe a 30-minute story there, but padding that out is something that they managed to do, probably that's one of the minuses, was that you could have contained the whole story within that half hour. But nevertheless, from what I did see, I did like the look of it. I just thought, oh, this lady's in a bit of a pickle here. And to be fair, from what I did see, Blake Lively, she looked like she meant business with this shark anyway. At the point that I saw it, I think she'd probably had enough at this point. I think the shark was starting to annoy her a little.
The realisation that the water was going to come up and actually cover the rocks probably sparked a little panic.
And that's when we were reading the review, when Darren posted this, that was the thing that caught our eye, was the situation of the tide, was the sort of the ticking clock of the movie. And I quite like that in a film as well, where it adds to the tension. And it's a film I'm going to catch. I know it's on Sky Movies at the moment, John, so it's just really keep my eye out for it, and hopefully I'll get to see it over the next few weeks or so, because it does look quite interesting. Yeah,
and as I did say, Stephen, my big takeaway is just the fact that it says, as you says, it's a ticking time sort of a situation with the tide coming up. That's quite intriguing to me. As I say, it's quite clever, because when you've got a genre like this, it's just oversaturated with releases nearly every year or two. You get a shark film, you have to try and differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack by doing something different. You can't recreate Jaws again and again and again. Jaws is an utterly iconic release. It's one of Steven Spielberg's greatest films, and it will never be topped. Even the subsequent iterations of Jaws were an absolute abomination. That one where the shark tracks them through the air. They actually take a flight to like the other side, the west coast of the United States.
Miami, I think that's John.
Oh, is it Miami they go to? I thought it was the west coast.
That was Jaws the Revenge, but you're right. You know, Darren does say it's one of these rare cases where having a shark, you know, acts like a serial killer worked in a movie.
Yeah.
I get what he's saying here. It's not too far-fetched. You know, a shark's got one mission, and that's to eat. That's its goal in life.
Exactly.
And Jaws the Revenge, you're right. It's this thing had an agenda. It had a plan. You know,
didn't like them.
It had a grudge. You know,
But it just begs that question, Stephen. Going back to that Jaws film very briefly before I delve back into this one.
Yeah.
Why would you not just stay in the middle of a landlocked part of a country, or just in a country in general, the middle of Siberia?
Yeah.
If you want to stay away from the shark, just stay away from the bottom. The shark can't get you unless it somehow formulates a plan to get into a tank or something and come and eat you while you're sleeping in your bed. That's
or
crap.
stay in an island where it's cold.
Exactly.
A bit like here.
Exactly, an island where it's cold. I think it'd find a way to get here, no. But ride a current. But I digress. We're not talking about that Jaws film. That was horrendous. We're talking about this film, The Shallows. And the final thing that I would take that I'm intrigued by is just the performance, as he says, of Blake Lively. The fact it's just her and the shark, that dynamic, and the fact that according to Darren, he cared for the character and her reasoning, just trying to be alive. She doesn't want to die. She doesn't want to kill the shark as well. So she has to be proactive and quite ingenious and then use her ingenuity in the way she gets off this rock. So that'd be maybe a reason for going in and watching it. That and the fact that I do like a shark movie on occasion. But look, he has a dig at Kevin Costner. I think that's from Waterworld.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember it as well. As a young boy, I think I actually liked that film. I don't know what I was on. I must have been getting fed acid in my drink back in the day. I don't know. But look, it's 86 minutes long. You can't really argue with that running time. It's short and sweet. Doesn't overstay its welcome. It's getting fairly mixed reviews, let's be honest. 59% from the audience on Rotten Tomatoes. It's telling you it's just an above average to an average film, and that's fair enough. You can't have blockbuster Oscar contending films all the time. Sometimes you just need a little popcorn flick to take your minds off the monotony of life. So I mean, I'd probably give us a bash. Yes.
Yeah. Director is it Jean-Mi Colette Serra? I think it is. I can understand. You know, he's got a knack for that type of movie, John, where you know it keeps you interested and on the edge of your seat. Because the film he did after this was The Commuter, the Liam Neeson one. So he also did The House of Wax.
Yeah, I remember that well.
From way back in the day. I thought it was a good film. A lot of people, a bit of a mixed bag reaction, I think, from that film. But
my big takeaway from that, I think, was just Paris Hilton getting killed.
Yeah,
which was great to watch.
For that alone, it was worth it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. She was in that page.
Yeah.
So that was great. Because I don't like her. I think she's a bit of a self-absorbed bitch, to be honest with you. But we're going to move on, Stephen, because I don't know Paris Hilton, and I might be being a little bit offensive here. I don't really know her. But I don't care either way. I'm going to move on to the next review, and it's by Philip Henry, and it's A Girl in the Spider's Web. Of course, this is just out a couple of weeks, and it's a second, I think it's a third. I think Philip does say that in his review. I think there was an original Swedish release, which was subsequently remade, and then this is the second iteration in the franchise. It's obviously been replaced, and primary character's been replaced by Claire Foy. It was originally Rooney Mara. So I haven't get round to seeing this film yet, but I'm semi-intrigued. Just the fact that we've got Stephen Merchant in there, Sylvia Hoeks and Claire Foy. I think she was outstanding in The Crown, a couple of other things. Very talented actress. So they've got the right pieces in play here. It's just whether I've got time to go and watch it, really. I don't know. Yeah. And if I haven't, I may watch it when it pops up on something like Netflix. Who knows?
One of the things that I enjoyed about this review, John, just moving a little bit away from the film itself and more talking about the review here, was Philip actually educated me in regards to the Stieg Larsson novels, and these were published after he passed away. It was only the age of 50 when he passed away. I didn't know that. And also I think it was a huge manuscript that was chopped into 3 novels, and you know, the rest to say is history. You know, it became such a massive success and became a franchise. A lot of diehard fans, Philip says, were not impressed when they continued the novels on. I think they were written by a chap called David Lagerkrantz, using Larsson's characters, and a lot of the diehard fans took exception to this, which I can understand that. You know, it's like I suppose anyone's favourite you know, writer, once they pass away, you want that sort of work preserved and not to continue on as a sort of a cash cow for some corporation or whatever. In this case, I think there was a lot of fans were probably upset that the story continued on after the passing of Stieg Larsson and his original manuscripts, So from that point of view, I enjoyed that little history lesson there from Philip. It was
very informative.
Yeah, it certainly was, because I didn't know anything about this. I knew who Stieg Larsson was. I didn't even know he died. There you are, John. That shows you how I'm not ignorant to that fact, but I didn't know. But this really did fill me in.
I'd seen the original film, Stephen, but I didn't know much about Stieg Larsson or indeed the novels themselves. I tend to just go in and watch films that have got an intriguing little title or something. Yeah. Sometimes that grabs my attention, and I didn't really look under the surface of it.
Just a quick question, John. Claire Foy, does she fill the role of Lisbeth Salander? Does she fill the role from Rooney Mara's interpretation of the character?
Well, I don't actually know, Stephen, because I've not went to see the film as of yet, but listen, I would think she would. I'm pretty sure she's taking over the character from the 2011 release, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. So, but one thing's for sure, Stephen, I'm absolutely certain that Claire Foy's got the acting chops and the range and the ability to come in and totally fill in for Rooney Mara. I think she's every bit as good, if not better, an actress. And as he does say in this review, Philip Henry, that it's nice to see her shaking up her roles a little bit. You don't want to be shoehorned into a specific role or a specific genre. We've seen this with the likes of Hugh Grant over their career. They get shoehorned into rom-com or period pieces. So it's nice to see her taking a step out of like the Crown role and then getting in and doing something like this, an action sort of a role, which is, as he says, replacing corsets with corpses. So that was an intriguing little line. I liked that. But look, loved the history lesson in this review. I thought that was absolutely outstanding. It filled me in a guy I genuinely didn't know anything about. It's just my ignorance, no.
I think Philip says as well, John, about this movie, it's more made for a wider mass than the previous adaptations, and there's a little prediction in there from Philip as well. He wouldn't be surprised if this actually beats the David Fincher adaptation at the box office in due course. So
well, I'll actually do my little dive in there, Stephen. Have a look at that. When you look at the original, the total grossing, well, in the United States anyway, I know that may be worldwide grossing actually, $102 million it earned. So this one's currently sitting at $14.6 million after about a week or two, I think. And in fact, it may even be a little bit longer than that. I think it's been out a while over in the United States. So it's got a while to go before it beats that, although that's not kind of a fair. I think that is just the US, that isn't the worldwide grossing. Worldwide grossing currently sitting at 31.5 million. So it's got a chance, I suppose. I don't know. I can't speak from any real knowledge because I've not seen the film, so I don't know whether it's deserving of beating the other one or not. Until I watch it, I can't really give my opinion one way or the other. I'm sure I will for box office chat next week. I'll drag myself out to the cinema to see this one. I like what he says though, that he's saying it's more accessible to the masses, as you did say, Stephen. And just that they're continuing on this guy's work, because it's always sad to see someone pass away before their time. And it's just to see them continuing this man's work on. Well, I say that, you did say in that little thing, that little breakdown of history, that kind of not continuing his work. They've got other people in creating newer stories. It's still a little bit, it's a little bit dodgy, that one. I can understand why fans of the original books are maybe a little bit, or book, because as he does say it was split into three. I can understand why they are maybe not so happy about that. But look, it sounds like he got a good time out of it. He's not actually gave it a rating, so I don't know how that would translate into a rating, but he enjoyed the incarnation of Stieg Larsson's anti-heroine. He says the action scenes were well executed and the plot weaves like a Lamborghini through Sunday drivers, which is what I do, because I hate Sunday drivers. The end mirrors the beginning, leaving a big plot strand open and paving the way for a sequel. There's a surprise. You're always going to get a sequel and things like this. I've seen people talking about this prior to its release, and they weren't really sure it was a film they were ever needing or wanting. They thought that the original was a decent little standalone story, and they were questioning the wisdom of this coming out, and really, is it necessary? I don't know. I'm not qualified to make that statement, but I probably will give us a watch.
Yeah, fair enough, John. We're going to move on to our final movie of this week's blog rundown, John, and this comes in from DM Anderson, and it's a 2018 Blu-ray review of Mission Impossible Fallout. I know you did the cinematic review, John, a few months ago, but this is a film that was directed by Christopher McQuarrie, also written by him, and it was based on Bruce Geller's television series. Stars Tom Cruise, obviously, and stars Henry Cavill and Ving Rhames, who is synonymous with this franchise now as well as Tom Cruise.
Yes, it stars a whole host of other people as well.
Yeah.
Steve, the likes of Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, Sean Harris, Angela Bassett, Vanessa Kirby, Michelle Monaghan. The list is really endless.
Yep.
And Alec Baldwin's also in there, returning, I do believe. Sure he's been in other ones. I have seen them all, pretty much. So I'm pretty sure he was in the other ones as like a CIA informant or man that Ethan could go to. I enjoyed this film. I thought it was a really good film. I did say that in my review. One of my favourite action films this year. Actually, probably my favourite Mission Impossible film to date, alongside Rogue Nation. I really enjoyed that one as well, which of course also starred Sean Harris as Solomon Lane. He comes back over as an antagonist again, but instead of it being his group, it's a newly formed group that's bounced back after that film, and they're calling themselves the Apostle. This sort of a underground, interconnected group of I don't want to say terrorists, but they've got a firm view of what they want for humanity. They think you need more suffering before you can have more peace, something along those lines. The longer the suffering, the greater the peace, or something like that. Or the greater the suffering, the longer the peace. And they want to get their hands on nuclear weapons and blow up all various holy cities and thrust humanity into complete chaos, basically. And then after that, they believe peace will ensue. And as you did say, return of Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt. What can you say about the guy? He just synonymous with this role now. He's been going on for over 20 years. The guy just knows how to do an action sequence, and Dave beautifully touches upon that at the beginning of this review with a brilliant sort of introduction, where he's talking about a guy zooming past him, texting in a smart car, and obviously this is equivalent to what Tom Zanity, as he calls it, where he's just this infectious appetite for continuing to better the stunts that he's done in previous films. We've seen this guy hanging off helicopters, hanging off planes, jumping off of buildings and breaking his ankle, continuing to run after it, and it remains in the film.
We talked about the success of this series as well, John, in regards to its formula. There's two things that always stand out in the Mission Impossible franchise for me, and Dave kind of touches on this in his review as well, is the reintroduction of past characters and throwing them in the mix. And also, as you said, the sequences, the action sequences are bettered with every instalment of this franchise, and that's down to Tom Cruise. It's down to the director as well. I think you touched on J.J. Abrams was one of the sort of main instigators for the sort of
renaissance.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was like the mid-90s through to the early 2000s, I believe, and then it kind of took a dip, disappeared. J.J. came back. I think it was about 2006. I want to say. I'm not too sure about the dates. I think you could be right there, John. Yeah, I'm sure it was about 2006 anyway. Maybe wrong, but he came back and kind of rejuvenated it and handed over the reins to other directors, because you don't tend to get the same director directing these ones. I do believe Christopher McQuarrie's done the last two, Rogue Nation and Fallout, and you get that continuation of the stories and the characters merging. And that's one thing I really enjoyed about this film as well, alongside, as Dave says, the amazing action sequences, which Tom doesn't do for himself. He does it for everyone. He's not putting himself in danger like this out of some self-absorbed lust for thrill or something. I don't know, maybe it is though, because he does like to drive F1 cars and then go up in helicopters right after it and do a loop-the-loop. This is a man in his personal life. Maybe it is, but he says, and he's right, I think he's right, he says, but it's more for the audience. He's doing this to bring that experience, to show you what the hell it would be like to jump out the end of a cargo plane and dive down into the cityscape of Paris below. But alongside those amazing visuals and the amazing sequences, I mean, there was an incredible fighting sequence in a bathroom between Henry Cavill's character, Tom Cruise, and I believe Liang Yang, who was the Lark decoy. That was incredible. There's some amazing sequences, but the one thing that I really enjoyed about this was, again, I think I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in my review, it's the fitting antagonist. It's this group which are well up to the task of taking on the likes of Ethan Hunt, Ving Rhames as Luther Stickle, and obviously Simon Pegg's Benji Dunn. They're a real fitting antagonist. They always seem to be a step ahead. There's various twists in this film, and that really keeps you engrossed in the story, because you don't know what's going to happen next. It's not clear that Ethan will win the day. Sometimes with these franchises, you get bored because you know they're going to win. It's like James Bond. James Bond isn't going to die ever, which is why I can kind of get on board with Daniel Craig wanting him to be killed off, so they can maybe continue on and do like a Doctor Who thing where it's a different character taking on the persona of 007 or the namesake. But in this, it's handled well. The antagonist, you're not too sure. It's not so dead certain that they will save the day. Of course, they do save the day at the end. But that was great. And you're right, Stephen. The thing I really enjoyed about this More recently is the introduction of new characters like Simon Pegg's Benji Dunn into the group, mingling with Ethan. I think their dynamic, their chemistry together is really good, and that's freshened up the franchise getting into newer films. He's absolutely right, Dave. I think this is one of the better ones in the franchise, if not the best, and they just seem to get better and improve upon things every time. Some amazing sequences. The zipping around Paris in the motorbike as well was stunningly shot, just amazingly shot film. This is how you do an action film.
And Dave just finishes the review off by saying maybe he, as in Ethan Hunt, can even squeeze into the mother of all Tom's sanity stunts, a chase where he is driving a smart car while texting.
I don't know how it's not happened yet.
That is a challenge, isn't it?
Make that happen.
But we'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on the blog rundown this week, and we will be back again tomorrow with the Force Friday show.
Remember guys, if you enjoyed that latest episode, then do hit that like button, comment below, and maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. If you want to follow us on social media for all the latest updates from Movie Burner Entertainment, then we can be found on Twitter and Facebook at Movie Burners. You can also listen to us on Google Play and iTunes at the Movie Burner Podcast. And last but not least, if you want to access all the latest written reviews and the occasional article, then that can be found on our website at movieburnerentertainment.org. Until next time, goodbye.